Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to zoom in on just one single day, December 27th, 2025, to really understand the major things that were happening. It's a snapshot of a nation in motion, and honestly, what you find when you look this closely might just surprise you.
So, we'll be exploring 3 stories that on the surface seem totally disconnected. We've got a crucial act of international diplomacy, a really tense domestic health crisis, and a bold move towards a future vision. By the end, you'll see exactly how they're all connected.
So what's the common thread here? Well, it's simple. They all unfolded on the exact same day. And together, they paint this really rich, complex picture of a nation that's, dealing with its present while simultaneously building its future.
All right, enough talk. Let's dive right in and see what was really going on December 27th, 2025.
Okay, first up, we're looking at the international stage. This is where India made a really significant move to help out its neighbor, Sri Lanka. Now, to really get why this aid was so important, you have to remember what happened just before this, the absolutely devastating cyclone 𝗏𝗏. I mean, this storm just ripped through Sri Lanka, leaving a massive trail of destruction behind it. So this aid package, it's a direct response to that catastrophe.
And India's response was, well, it was huge. We're talking a staggering $450 million. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a small gesture, it's a massive statement of support.
So how does that money actually get there? Well, it's a pretty smart two-pronged approach. $350 million of it is in what they call concessional lines of credit. Basically, low-interest loans to help with the big, long-term rebuilding projects. And the other $100 million? That's a straight-up grant. No strings attached, doesn't have to be paid back. This gives them both that immediate cash for relief and a sustainable way to recover.
And this act of generosity isn't just a random one-off thing. It's actually a perfect example of India's core foreign policy principles in action. You might have heard of them: Neighborhood First and 𝗧𝗵𝗲, which stands for Security and Growth for All in the region. This is what that policy looks like on the ground. It's India really stepping up, projecting stability, and cementing its role as a key leader in the region.
Okay, so while India was extending a helping hand abroad, a really serious crisis was brewing right at home. We're going to shift our focus now to the state of Kerala, where this sort of silent threat was putting a centuries-old way of life at risk.
So if you look at the 𝗏𝗏 region, it's this lush, waterlogged area with a unique and ancient tradition: duck farming. For centuries, farmers there have raised ducks in this really delicate balance with the ecosystem. But now, a series of just devastating avian flu outbreaks are pushing this entire way of life right to the edge of collapse.
So what's causing all this? The culprit is avian influenza AH5N1. You've probably heard it called bird flu. It's a super contagious virus, and it's especially lethal for domestic birds like ducks and chickens. You can imagine how devastating these outbreaks are for the farmers.
Of course, whenever you hear about something like this, the first question that pops into your head is, okay, what's the risk to people?
And look, while the risk to humans is generally low, it's not zero. And when it does make that jump to people, the consequences can be really, really serious. The symptoms can be something as mild as conjunctivitis, red eyes, but they can also escalate and fast to life-threatening pneumonia and even multi-organ failure. And that's exactly why this outbreak is being taken so seriously.
So how does it even spread to people? Well, the main way is through direct contact with infected birds or their droppings, their environment. This is why it's such a critical, dangerous issue for the farmers and all the workers who are on the front lines of this crisis every single day. All right, for our third and final story today, we're going to pull the lens back. We're moving away from the immediate crises and looking at the bigger picture. Because on the very same day, the Quality Council of India, or QCI, rolled out a massive set of reforms that could literally reshape the country's future. This is where you see the long-term vision really kicking in. And this isn't just, some minor bureaucratic shuffle. No way. It's a key piece of the government's super ambitious 𝗏𝗏 𝗪𝗏 2047 plan. The goal there is to transform India into a developed nation by its 100th birthday. And a world-class system for quality, that's seen as absolutely essential to making that happen. So, what's at the heart of all these changes? It's a new symbol of trust, the Q mark, which translates to the nation's right. It's this simple QR-coded mark that will basically be a guarantee of quality for everything, from the medical lab that runs your blood tests to the small local business you buy from. It's a really powerful way to build confidence in the Indian market for everyone.
But it's about so much more than just a sticker.
This is a complete overhaul. I mean, imagine a single paperless online platform replacing mountains of paperwork. Think about mentorship programs designed to help those smaller Tier 2 and Tier 3 suppliers, the companies that make parts for the big industries, to help them meet international standards. And on top of that, picture direct support for 100,000 small businesses and self-help groups. This is a real game changer.
So let's bring it all back together. What have we seen today? We've seen a major act of foreign diplomacy, a serious domestic health emergency, and a blueprint for future growth, all on the same day. And this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? In a single 24-hour period, we see India acting on the world stage in Sri Lanka, tackling a crisis at home in Kerala, and laying the groundwork for its own future with these quality reforms. It's just a powerful snapshot of the complex, dynamic reality of a nation in motion.
And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you take these three stories together, you're left to wonder about the incredible balancing act that any nation faces. How do you manage the urgent, immediate crises of today, both at home and with your neighbors, while never losing sight of the foundational work you need to do to build a better, stronger tomorrow?